sure that I share it on our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to AfroEconomics with JB Bryan on the YouTube channel, and also AfroEconomics with JB Bryan on the Facebook page. Thank you for this opportunity to communicate with you, to all of you that registered. What I try to do is not send you to social media, but to take everybody from social media, bring you over to the webinar side so that you can get all of my weekly invites. You can get invitations to the all of the events that we have. Also get all of the membership information. We even have an absolutely free financial empowerment, no excuses membership that God has blessed us with the opportunity to provide the free membership that you can do as an entry level, and then step up to the comprehensive financial planning memberships as well. So there's so much going on. Tell them, Barbara, we can do this. We can do it. So today, on Sundays, I would like to take this time to empower us, to enhance our lives, and to remind us just how much God loves us. Yes, he does. Yes, he is so wonderful. I'm going to start with a prayer. Lord, allow me to empower and encourage. Dear God, allow us to receive your word for life instruction, strength, and understanding. Help us to make life choices that bring us closer to you. Amen. Today we are exploring talent and character. Throughout life, we have experienced times where we know we are capable of achieving a particular goal, but we ask ourselves, can I do? Can you do? Can we do what is required for us to make that goal happen? And that's where the character comes in. It's easy to, with any discussion, anytime that we think about God, for us to just look outside of our life's window, right? And to just look at someone else and point out what they're doing incorrectly. But I believe that the power is in looking at myself and exploring what habits are holding me back financially. So when you see someone else doing something that bothers you, I think that we need to turn to ourselves and check ourselves. And I ask, why does that bother me? Why do I care that they're being so materialistic? Am I being materialistic? And I had to go through that transition of realizing, checking myself. I remember one day saying, God, if I didn't have all of this, when I had all this, multiple Mercedes at the same time, motorcycle, vans, all of this stuff. Dear God, if I did not have all of this stuff, commercial property, residential property, would I be the same person? Because Lord knows I knew I could offer so much more to the world if I didn't have all of this extremities, all of this crap that wasn't allowing me to invest into my business and build and give away free memberships and do free workshops and do free webinars and do the things that God put me here to do. And he said, well, try me. See what type of character you have. And I began to change the way I did things. And it was not easy. But it was time for me to build character, because building character is just like a daily chore. It is a daily responsibility. You can't just like all of a sudden I made that change that I was going to be debt free, and then all of a sudden you think that that's it. No, there's constantly temptation. There's constantly that challenge of going back into debt again. There's constantly people who are going to be coming to you with things that are going to pull away you from your commitment to build wealth and to just diminish your wealth. There's constantly going to be, whatever the challenge is, there's constantly that challenge of going on vacations, expensive ones that you know that you can't afford, and putting them on credit cards, or buying all these things for holidays or birthdays, or buying all of these shoes that or handbags, or suits, or it has to be tailor-made, and it has to have the name on the cuff, and it has to be a platinum. It has to be, just there's constantly going to be these things that are going to require character to say, I don't need that. So I feel that our gifts, our talents, our knowledge can take us to heights that only our character can keep us there. And that's why we see on the news, it makes such a huge story on the news that when there's this superstar that has this super talent and they're totally blessed with this beautiful voice or beautiful body or beautiful, whatever blessing that they have, and they have this character weakness that only God can remove from them. But what is amazing to me is that no matter what they do to correct it, the world will always bring it back to their attention. They can make a mistake 30 years, live 30 more years, and do the right thing, and the media will still, or the world or their family, someone will still bring up that bad choice. So your character is even challenged in that, and that you have to remember that what you do, your changes, your improvement, your choices have to be between you. They have to be between you and God, because we don't live in a world that says, oh, wow, look at you. What a great choice to not try to show off, because we live in a world that commends you for showing off. The more you show off, the more you don't take care of the responsibilities that you should be taking care of. But if you take care of the responsibilities just to please other people, then you're still not doing what you're doing. Like, imagine how many people partied with Wesley Snipes while he was not paying his tax bill. But where were they to make sure that he got that tax bill paid? But who am I to say that that's a character flaw that he has now? I'm not even suggesting that he would still do that today. I'm saying that we have to allow ourselves, when we make those mistakes, remember that it's going to come up as a situation for you. It's going to come up no matter what. It's going to come up. It's going to be repeated. And I always say that that's just God's way of keeping us humble. I remember the other day, that those of you who know I am engaged to be married, and I got an inbox, and if someone said to me, well, how many failed relationships have you had? And I could not believe that they would say something like that would just shift, that if I allowed it, would totally shift all my joy, that I was supposed to focus on that we're supposed to focus on that which is wrong, that which went wrong, that which was bad, that which, no. So it took everything within my character to build through that and to realize that I have the right, that I have the character, that I am the person who is able, ready, and willing to love again. And you have to forgive ourselves like that. Yes, this went wrong, but God has given us another ability, another chance to bring our love, our strength, our laughter, our joy to the world, because we live in a world that wants you to shut it down, that wants you to say something foul because something went wrong for you, or the government is bad because you can't pay your taxes, or all men are bad because your heart was broken, or all women are terrible because, that's what they want, so that you have this character flaw that you carry all around with you all the time. And you can't do all that you have to do because you're carrying this tension, this stress from something that doesn't exist anymore, because you got other people who are out there sad. They're not there. They're not listening. They're not participating, but if they don't accomplish all that they were capable of accomplishing, it's because of that character flaw of always trying to hold people back, or thinking it's okay to try to ruin someone's joy. That's a character flaw. And if you see yourself doing it, you have to change it. Why would someone want to do business with you if you're doing that? Why would someone want to serve you if you're always doing something that's pulling away? Why would someone, if you have this tendency to always charge people too much, that's a character flaw, and it will ruin your business. Exploit people, talk about people, tell people's business. These are character flaws that we have to make sure are eliminated so that we can get to our maximum level of financial success and really get the blessings that are out there for us, that God is trying to deliver to us, but that character is putting up that wall. So what made me think of this and so much more is Proverbs chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. To understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. That's really that's the whole chapter to me. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. How many times have we seen that? Have you ever met someone who hates instruction? When I meet someone, old or young, and they just hate instruction, or even when they ask for it, and then they justify it, I've gotten to the point now where I just don't respond. You ask for my opinion, I give you my opinion, then you tell me why I'm wrong. There's nothing else to be said. Why do we even try? Why do we even try? All we can do at that point is just pray for them, because fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now this goes back, this is the word, it's the Bible. So what can you do to change that? That's God. The only God can change that. I have times when people have something that's very important, something very important that they want to communicate to me. And it takes character for me to just sit there and listen to something that makes no sense to me. But the character that is required to sit there and listen is the beginning of my knowledge and beginning of my learning. They say you can learn something from everyone, even if it's what not to do. So if we don't listen, then we won't really learn what not to do. So we have to be able to just listen so that we can learn. Like, what can we learn from a fool? Is that a fool has no idea what wisdom is. They hate instruction. They can't even receive it no matter how good it is. So what do we want to do? Make sure that we're not that person. Make sure that we are not that person who will not listen to the wisdom and instruction. For example, when you're told that this has to be paid on this particular day, and a fool will say, I know that, but it doesn't really matter. Yes, it does matter. And it costs you more. That it's as simple as that, how much that could just save you over time if you say, well, taxes are due on this particular day. And if we do it and make sure that they're ready on that particular day, look how much it saves you, how much turmoil, how much problems are created because of not being wise enough to take the instruction that is allowed. The instruction that says, these are the things that you are allowed to deduct. And there's so many people who don't even take advantage of the things that are allowable to them because they don't have the wisdom, the humility to understand that only a fool will not follow the instructions that have been given to them. Oh, man, amen. So here's something I also want us to meditate on, that I feel it is powerful when we're talking about talent and character. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Let me I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure if you all have any notes. How you doing, Mr. Lewis, Miss Wanda, Miss Jones, Mr. Tice, Barbara, our phone callers, Valron. Please, 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 please make sure you make a chat to me. Let me know, what you're thinking about, what's on your mind. And for those of you who are on social media, I can't look at you right now, but promise me, make your comments and I will respond. I will respond. And I'm going to save this for you so you can save it and you can share it with your families, so that on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you take advantage. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, it says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And I was telling you about, when someone inboxed me and they try to tell you something negative to think about, some mistake that you made, something that went wrong, something that you had absolutely no control over. So then you have to realize that that's where our character comes in. And then we have to say, we're going to only think upon excellent and praiseworthy things. Think on things that are admirable. Associate with people that are admirable. Associate people who are pure and lovely in their thoughts. Think about whatever is right. Don't allow your character to be pulled down by people who are telling you what you can't do, what won't change, where you're not going to get, what we can't accomplish. We have to believe in the impossible, because we know that God promised us that we can do all things through our faith in Him. So what they see in us, of course, it's not possible, because they only see us. But they can't see the God in you. And that's a problem with their character, not yours. So how do we sustain and maintain our wealth? These are just some ideas. I believe that we should live within our means, within or below our means. Avoid wasting money on things that we just can't afford right now, or shouldn't afford, or don't need. No, live within or below our means, knowing that we don't have anything to prove to anyone. A second point, eliminating costly habits that lead to unnecessary expenses. And that is up to you. What you see as a costly, something that's costly, that's costing you. And in many cases, it's a lot of things that affect our health and we don't think about it. Like, just say you go out to eat all the time. Well, going out to eat is not good for our health. And it will cost us over time having poor health, because it diminishes our ability to make our living and build our wealth. And you start having to spend a lot of money on your wealth, your health and well-being, that's pulling away from your savings and your investing. So let's be aware of, like, costly habits are not just your clothes habit of going to the mall all the time. That might be one for you, but also think about, are you drinking too much? Are you smoking too much? Or, are you using recreational things too much? What is going on that is pulling away, that this is pulling away from your character, or a bad character choice? That's not you. You're not that type of person. Well, then don't be that type of person. And we just have to make that choice. Be aware of the messages that you're taking in daily. Who's in your ear? What are they telling you? Are they telling you you can improve things? Are they telling you that you are worthy of the wealth that you're seeking? Or are they telling you that you can, or you're not worthy? Or are they telling you that your marriage should end? Or are they telling you that your marriage should go through? Because I'm telling you, that making a commitment to keeping your family together could be the best investment that you make. And then 4, be a leader, not a follower. You show people how to live. Let's show people how to live. Be a leader. Be a leader. Don't do what they do unless you really like where they are. But other than that, allow your relationship with God be the example. And know the laws. Know the tax laws. Know property tax. Know the laws surrounding everything in your life. Even traffic laws, right? Because that can be expensive if you get a traffic violation, and it makes everything cost more over time. So know the laws, have the wisdom and character to follow them. Little things. Some people, they have to. They have to. My fiance is in transportation. Knowing these laws are very important. Makes it even hard riding down the street with him because he's following the laws. Look, you don't know how many laws you break until you ride with someone who studies traffic laws and will not break them because it's part of their career. But it helps me build my character knowing I shouldn't do that. Look, I'm a U-turn person anywhere I want. Got to stop doing that. I've been lucky so far, but can't push it. Don't push it. So know the laws in every aspect, especially in the work that you do. Yes, indeed. My business, very regulated. Very regulated. I have to know my security laws, to know what my responsibility is to protect you, because I'm licensed. You see a lot of professionals, and someone was telling me about this doctor who lost her license because she wanted to do her practice a particular way, but that's not the law. So from my perspective, she has to realize how much this character choice cost her, and then that's what happens. And it is amazing how many people don't care. But you would really have to think that's a character flaw. You don't blame it on the system. People go, well, that's a messed up system that makes me have to answer to these things. No, that is a system. It is designed to protect people, and that's the law. No, and I question your character on why it's so difficult for you to follow these guidelines if that's what you want to do. You want to be a licensed physician? Then you follow these laws. You want to be licensed in securities? Then I have to follow these laws. You want to be licensed in these things? That's what you have to do. But you see a whole bunch of people talking financial stuff that have no license. And that's what we have to realize. Then they don't have the same guidance. They don't have to go by the same guidelines as I do, which means you don't have equal protection when you're dealing with people that don't have a license. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Oh, wow. We just got a text and she was saying she couldn't get in this morning. Thank God that you all could. So let's also look, and I apologize. I just want to repeat that. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. That's beautiful. Let's look also in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now, self-control includes how we spend our money. Against such things there is no law. Goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, kindness. There's no limit to that. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace. Isn't that beautiful? That's God. And a final scripture that's, to me, that encourages principle 9 of AfroEconomics, determination. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 5 through 6. Who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. But we carry on. This is just for now. And while we're here, let's live with joy, peace, and love for one another, right? I say, in closing, may your entire life be filled with love and peace. And I really ask that you receive that. May God guide us to have the strength and insight to give generously of ourselves, having faith that God will forever fill us up so we can give and give and give some more. And Mr. Lewis said, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 15, co-signing for someone is not good. Yes, indeed. Proverbs is pretty powerful with our wallet, isn't it? Thank you for sharing that. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much for just sharing your morning, sharing your, I hope that this will give you like a jump start on talent and character, and remembering that your talent can get you in places, but it is your character that is going to keep you there. Make sure you email me at jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com. I'm here for you. Yes, indeed.